some tingling. Kindling. Kindling. You start the fire with these apparently. Cut that one. Well, hello there. I know you guys are used to see Cody Townsend here in front of the lens, but this is Bjarne Salen here. I'm the guy who's filming the 50 project. And we are in Portland right now, and there are mosquitoes here. And there are like cottonwood things traveling around in there, so it's nearly like snow. I've been asked so much about, Bjarne, show me your van. And finally, gonna give you what you asked for. So, here's my van tour. Check it out. This is a Ram Promaster 2500 from 2014, and it only has around 40,000 miles on it. Why I choose a van is because I can cook food in here easy, I can charge my batteries and everything. I'm gonna show you all that. I built this totally on my own and I freaking love it. So that's probably the main reason why I choose this. First of all, refrigerator under the seat. Saves a lot of space and I can have all the food I want in there. Slides out pretty nice and convenient. A ton of food I can put in there. When this is shut, a lot of heat doesn't escape from the van, and when it's shut, obviously more privacy. I'm a big fan of wood, so I decided to have a sweet table where you can sit and have dinner. 2 people here, 1 person here, another one on a little seat, like 4, probably 5 people who can fit in here. I choose to have this kind of table and it swivels around. Why? Because I can get a lot of space if I want. I can put this aside, put it over here, for example, if you want to use the storage for something else. And also, I can put it here, chop, 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 chop some food, you know, and I love cooking, so that works great as well. Another reason why I decided to have a pretty large table in here is because this is where I do a lot of my work from. I bring my laptop up, I can download footage, and I can edit pictures and videos, etc. So to have a table here, a decent size one, to me, it's key for sure. I decided to get windows in my van, and you have to cut holes. So I used the jigsaw to cut this massive hole, and then I was pretty nervous if I was gonna put the window in correctly or not. You know, neighbors are coming out like, are you right, Bjarne? Like, you just cut a big hole in your van. But it actually turned out great. It hasn't been leaking, it has some ventilation in it, and I'm pretty stoked on it because it's pretty sweet to have a good little window looking out. I always wanted to have a wood stove when I was a kid. Never had one, so I figured I get my own van and I get a wood stove in the van. So that's what I did. This is what it looks like. This is a tiny little wood stove. You have a normal little opening here, and then under here you have some ventilations and stuff. Under the wood stove there is a drawer full of wood, leftover from the build, fire extinguisher. Why I choose to have a wood stove? Well, it's not just charming and cute, it also has a little bit of function. Not a little bit, a lot if you ask me. It creates dry heat compared to propane, which creates wet heat or damp heat. So when I have a lot of ski gear here in the winter and I want to dry it out, if I only have propane heat, it's not going to dry. It gets warm, but it's wet. If I have the wood stove cranking, all my things in here get really dry and really warm. I pretty much have to open the door or like be naked because it's so stinking hot. I love this thing. This piece of wood is the same as the table I showed you earlier. And obviously, kitchen is very important. 2-burner propane stove. The propane tank is in the back, so it saves me a lot of space underneath. I cut a hole in this piece of wood so it fits nice and slick in there. I took this entire piece down to my friend in Portland, Cutting Edge cabinet shop. It was about 2 inches thick. They milled it down to about 1 inch, mainly because I wanted to save the weight in the van. So it actually saved me many pounds, kilos. I'm from Europe. And they helped me to spray it. They sprayed it a lot, so it's 100% waterproof. It's gonna stay like that forever. Super pumped on it. This guy is a sink, and the water actually comes out from a foot pump underneath here. which is pretty sweet. Then you can use both hands, washing up, do whatever you want. Also, I wanted to keep this one so it looks kind of nice, you know, kind of like in a boat. You can just put it in and out if you want to, do all your dishes, etc. I wanted to create a water system in this van as simple as possible. So one here is for the fresh water and one is for the gray water, and the foot pump is doing all the job. Obviously you need some drawers to have all your gear for kitchen. That goes just super simple. I have everything I need to cook my food. I have some good pots and some energy bars. Bedroom, very important. I decided to have a pretty large bed, mainly because I, enjoy sleeping. I don't want to do my bed every night I'm gonna go to bed, etc. This is definitely where all the magic happens, which doesn't happen at all except sleeping, which is pretty magic. I built the bed here because now I can sleep widthwise. A lot of vans are maybe longer, so they can sleep like that. But this one is actually 6 feet from that side to that side. I do not have a bathroom in this van. So when it's number 2, well, then it's just to go out in the nature, dig a deep hole. But if you just have to pee in the middle of the night, I have my pee bottle. Yeah, you can think whatever you want, but do you know how nice it is when you don't have to go outside when you have to pee? Up here. I keep all my clothes up here. Not all of them, but a lot of them. And these ones comes out. I have my base layers and this one. In here is like socks and underwear. And also want to be able to access all my camera gear underneath. So what I did decide is that this is like a futon sofa bed. So it folds both directions. All my camera gear is in the back, very easy to access, and is very well organized in all my f-stop bags in the back here. I do really enjoy cooking food, and you gotta have some storage for that. You can access a lot of food. All the spices are under here, and in the evening you always have a little bit of whiskey. It's always good. Not too much, just a little bit. And it's also very good to gurgle it in the throat. My mom taught me that once. It kills the bacteria. Storage. There is a lot of room actually. At the moment there is a sleeping bag, my reserve sleeping bag. And a ton of more room up there. These pictures, that one is from Chamonix, France. I've been up on Mont Blanc, I don't know, quite many times. I lived there for about 7 years before moving over to the US, so it means a lot to me. This one, that is a picture is taken from Mount Hood, where I'm based right now in Portland, Oregon. And on Mount Hood, I kind of stopped counting because it's my home mountain, so I'm running up there quite a lot, but I don't know how many times. Circulation is always good in the van, and I decided to have a fan here and not a fan in the back, just one fan. And if I open up the windows a little bit and then turn the fan on, it creates a pretty good draft. And can you hear it? I can't hear it either because it's very quiet. The ceiling up here, that's cedar, and I choose cedar because I think it kind of looks cool and it smells pretty nice. The other paneling, this one for example, is normal tongue and groove pine. I choose that because mainly I like the look and it's pretty light. Behind it's a lot of insulation. Between 1 and 3 inches thick insulation. Why I choose to have a lot of insulation is because in the winter time it keeps the heat in here very well, I'd say. Also, in the summertime, when you go to bed and you wake up and it's really hot outside, it keeps this pretty cool in here. You kind of don't want to open the windows because the temperature is nice and chill in here. So I'd say insulate your van for what I'm doing, totally important. In this van, I did everything except the electrical. I had an electrician do that just in case because I don't want to blow up the van or put on fire and kill myself. This one, I have about 2-3 of these in the van where I can charge all my cameras, all the batteries I need, everything on the road. It's obviously a big important part for my work on the road. And then how everything gets charged in this van is I have solar panel up on the roof that I'm going to show you in a bit. And then the battery, which is actually in the back of the van in the garage area. So let me show you that. Welcome to the garage. This is where I keep the battery for the van. The charge controller, the inverter, everything is under here. And how this gets charged is because I have two 100-watt solar panels on top of the roof plus a DC to DC charger, which means this battery in the back, which is a pretty large deep cycle battery, gets charged from the van when I'm driving. And it doesn't take that many hours to charge the entire battery when I have this system. And to be honest, when we've been on the road charging batteries the whole winter, it hasn't been under like 65% of the capacity. Sometimes in the winter it gets really cold, and then I'm talking like ice. So water sometimes freezes, but that's why I have this one. This is a Yeti Silo 6-gallon water container. In the wintertime, it keeps the water from freezing. In the summertime, it keeps the water cool. So I could probably not live without this one. It's located right here in the van because I can access it from inside the van and also from this side of the van. Under here we have Yeti Go Box 30. Slides out pretty easy. These cases are awesome. You can put, fragile equipment in there or something else, whatever you want in there. Great organization in the van, and they store pretty nice in there as well. The bed folds up as a futon the other way as well. Under the bed I have 3 pairs of Salomon skis in different sizes for different environment in the mountains. And I can fit them in here, they get out of the way, and it gives me very easy access for whenever I need them. In this box I carry a lot of like my harness, crampons, shovel, probe, etc. And then I have some more boxes in there for more ski gear for whatever I need for that day up in the mountains. Under here is where I keep my ladder, telescopic ladder, so I can get up on the roof. Let's go up and check it out. This is the deck, a solar deck where you can crack a beer, you can actually sleep up here. It's just big pieces of wood that's built on a roof rack on top of the van. Obviously that's the chimney for the wood stove. And then it's, smoke comes up. People think, are you right in there? Your van is on fire. I'm like, yeah, it's on fire, but it's the wood stove, On the side here, I actually have created some loops so I can strap things on the van. Surfboards, kayaks, other things I want to transport, which has been very convenient. These 2 solar panels are 100 watts each, and it charges the battery in the van pretty well. Of course, when I'm driving, I'm using the DC to DC charger that charges the battery even more. And they are screwed into the van, and they sealed, 100% waterproof, and they definitely last for like forever. They actually charge even when it's cloudy outside. Of course, when it's sunny, it's better, but when it's cloudy, it still charges the van. There are a lot of mosquitoes out there, so I'm gonna move my legs a little bit. This is an awning from Thule. Definitely changed the van life, this thing. It's amazing. This awning is pretty huge actually. It protects from the rain, it protects from the sun. You can have a party out here. Oh, fuck mosquito. Okay, that was the wrap for this van tour. I spent about 320 hours building this thing, and it's actually one of my biggest passion when I'm not up in the mountains. We're gonna hit the road here next winter again with the 50 project. If you see Cody and I, please come and say hi, and hopefully see you around.